Hello and welcome back to Accounting for Free. In a prior video, I gave you a brief overview of how invoicing works. In this video, we're going to take it a step further and focus on invoicing that requires inventory. So we're going to show you briefly how to re-enter your inventory. There is a previous video that does go into more depth of how the inventory actually works, but for this purpose, we're just going to do a brief synopsis of it. So, to get started, you're going to go to www.accountingforfree.com. Once there, enter your customer code, username, and password, and log in. So, let's say, for instance, you're going to invoice some inventory, and you don't already have it entered. Then you would go to Inventory Restocking. You would click Add or Edit. Put in the type, so let's say we're going to add red roses. Make sure that you click active. And then your unit costs, let's say they cost us $2.12 a rose, and we're going to sell them for $2.67 a rose. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. So you would only put what you have on hand if you had items already on hand prior to purchasing this. So if you're purchasing this for the very first time, you would put nothing on hand here, and you would just simply put the status of how many you want left in your inventory when you want an alert to come saying you need to reorder. So we're going to say we need to reorder when we get down to 5 red roses. And then you would pick your primary supplier or secondary supplier if you need to, and click Add. And you'll see it was successfully added. If you need to add more, click Reset and continue with that. Then you'll come over here to the next screen that comes back to, and it'll show that it says red roses, active. This is where you would actually put in the number of red roses that you bought or have on hand at that point. So if you just purchased them, you would put them here. So let's say we purchased 45 red roses at $2.12 a rose. So you see the total now comes to $95.40. At this point, you will need a vendor. So let's just put that we ordered them through Flowers of America. And then you'll be able to fill in all of their information. So for this, we're just going to put the name of the business. Click Add, Close, and then you should be able to click Add, and you'll see that it was properly added and updated. So now you're good to go to the invoicing. So you would come over here to Invoice where it says Add or Edit Invoice and click on that. Then you would click on your customer. So if it's a customer you've already billed once before, then their name would be here. If you need to add a new one, you click Add or Edit and enter their name. So we're going to say that Georgia Johnson ordered the roses. And then click whether it's a business or individual, and then all of their billing information here. So we're going to say they're an individual, and we'll just enter 1 Main Street, Houston, Texas, 77098. And phone number and any other information you have. Then click Add, and you'll see that they were successfully added. So all their information would pre-populate into the thing. If they have an email address, then you would enter their email address here, because once you complete the invoice, you would have the option to send them a digital invoice straight to their email. So then you would come to product type. If it entered it as inventory like we did on the red roses, you would find that one. And you'll see red roses. It comes up with the price, and then you would click on the quantity. So let's say we are going to sell, that she calls us and says, hey, I'd like to order 60 red roses. Well, we don't have 60 red roses in-house at the moment. So you would get a pop-up that comes up and says that you don't have enough of that item to satisfy the quantity. At that point, you can click OK to continue or hit cancel and explain to the customer, obviously you don't have them, and you would be able to adjust it at that point. So we're going to go down and say we want 20 of them. We know we have that on hand. And then you'll see the gross amount, actual amount, and whether it's taxable or not. then invoice date, and then your billing terms, whether it's due upon receipt, 15, 30, 45, or 60 days. So we're going to say it's due upon receipt. And then your sales tax, we're in Brazoria County, so our sales tax is 8.25. And it shows that here, your late charges, you would update those late charges yourself. You'd be able to click on them and say what yours are. And then if they had a late charge, you would click Apply Late Charge. Obviously, there's no late charge in this case. So we have everything entered. You click Add, and invoice is added. Once the invoice is paid, you would search that invoice out, or if they paid it at the time that you actually gave them the invoice, then you would be able to do it at that point. So we're just going to say Edit on George Johnson, bring it back up, click on Payment Made, and then you would click the payment date, the payment type. We're going to say they paid cash, and the amount that they paid. And you'll see the remaining balance is now 0, and click Save. And that is how you invoice with inventory. So once again, thank you for choosing Accounting for Free.